Hey everyone, what's up? This is Mr. Ang, Principal of Music Temple. Today I'm gonna talk a little bit about music theory or harmony. And the topic for today is called secondary dominance. So please bear in mind that this topic is for advanced level students or at least undergraduate college students. In fact, while I was studying at Berklee College of Music many years ago, I studied the topic of secondary dominance when I was in my second semester. So here it is, secondary dominance. So again, this is a college level topic. If you don't understand it, that's okay. Just watch our other videos, right, which cover more of a beginner or intermediate levels, because right now is an advanced topic that we're covering. So secondary dominance. Before we talk about secondary dominance, we have to know about primary dominance. What is a primary dominant? Primary dominant is, for example, when you have a major key. So say we're in the key of C major 7. Okay? The primary dominant of that particular key is the 5/7. Okay? If you've studied this kind of stuff before, you would know what I'm talking about. So, okay? So, for example, again, in the key of C is 1 major 7. C is 1. Okay? And then the 5/7 or the So, this is from the Do, going to the So, the 5/7 of C is G. And that is the 5/7 of the key. So this is the 5/7. You hear that the sound of the 5/7, it's unsettling in a way. It needs to resolve, doesn't it, right? Right? Okay, let's hear it again. So from 1, that's 1 major 7, going to 5/7, you just don't, you feel like you don't want to end there. You want to resolve back to 1. There you go. There you go. Okay? Now, so that is primary dominance. Okay? Now, when we talk about secondary dominance, what is that? If we have primary dominance, then what does secondary dominance mean? So let me tell you, okay. Besides the 1, obviously we have other chords within the key, within the major key, right? So we have 1 major 7, and then after that we have 2 minor 7, and then we have 3 minor 7, we have 4 major 7, then we have 5/7, we have 6 minor 7, and then we have 7 minor 7 flat 5. Okay? Now, if we want to impose a dominant chord before we go to any of those other chords besides the 1 major 7, okay? That's where secondary dominance comes. Okay, let me repeat that again, what I just said. Okay, and I will demonstrate it with some examples as well. Okay, for example, okay, we've done the 1 major 7 and then to 5/7 and back to 1. Now let's talk about perhaps 2 minor 7. That's a 2 minor 7. In this case, it's D minor 7. Okay, now let's say we want a dominant chord before we go to the 2 minor 7. And that's where the secondary dominance come in. Okay? So from 1 major 7, we go to 2 minor 7. Okay? And then this time, how about we add a 5/7 before that 2 minor 7? Not the primary dominant, but the 5/7, the dominant of that 2 minor 7. Okay? Let's count it. Okay? Let's count it. Now we have 2 minor 7, which is D in this case, D minor 7. What is the perfect fifth or the 5/7 of that 2 minor 7? Let's count. You got D in the key of C, and then you get 2 minor 7, which is D minor 7. The fifth of that should be A. Am I correct? Right? D minor 7. The fifth of D is A. And then we have to make that A into a dominant chord. Let's see how it sounds. That A as a dominant chord, or A7, it functions as the 5/7 of 2 minor 7. Or we just say 5/7 of 2. this out, okay? Okay. So that was 1 major 7 going to again to D minor 7. Let's see if we put a 5/7 of 2 before we go to 2 minor 7. Check this out. 1 and 5/7 of 2. Whoa, sounds a little interesting. And then you go to 2 minor 7. Let's hear that again. 1 major 7 and then 5/7 of 2. Resolving down to 2 minor 7. Sounds neat, doesn't it, right? And I know your ears expecting it to keep resolving, to keep going down to perfect fifth. So from D minor 7 or from 2 minor 7, we can keep going down to perfect fifth to 5/7 and back to 1. That's fine as well. Okay, we just covered 5/7 of 2, by the way. Okay, 5/7 of 2 resolves to down the perfect fifth to 2 minor 7. Okay, in this case that was A7. Okay, in the key of C, A7 resolves down to D minor 7. That was 5/7 of 2. How about if we keep moving? That was just one example of secondary dominance. Okay, 5/7 of 2. Okay, we got 5/7 of 1 way back when that's our primary dominant. Now venturing into the secondary dominant world. Now we have 5/7 of 2, and then let's move on further. How about 3 minor 7? If we find the 5/7 or the dominant chord, or the 5/7 of 3, what would it be? In this case, we have E minor 7 in the key of C, right? E minor 7 in the key of C. That's our 3 minor 7. Okay, we're gonna need the 5/7 before that 3. The 5/7 of 3. Okay? In this case, the 5/7 of 3, the 5/7 of E minor 7 would be a B7. Ha! That's it. That's a 5/7 of 3. And then it needs to resolve down the perfect fifth to 3 minor 7. Okay? There you go. There you go. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's start from 1. Okay? This is 1. Now I'm going to 3 minor 7. But before I do that, I'm going to its 5/7 first. 5/7 of 3. 5/7 of 3. Here we go. And down to perfectly down to 3 minor 7. Sounds nice. Let's hear it again. 5/7 of 3, and then to 3 minor 7. If your ears again expected to keep resolving down the perfect fifth, let's hear it then. 3 to 6 minor 7 now, and then to 2 minor 7, and to 5, and back to 1. Okay, so we've done 5/7 of 2 and 5/7 of 3. How about 5/7 of 4? The 4 is, in this case, will be 4 major. The 4 major 7 is F. It's an F major 7. Okay. Now before we go to F again, we have to go to the 5/7 of that F, of that 4. 5/7 of that 4. 5/7 of 4. Okay. 5/7 of 4 in this case, 5/7 of F in this case would be a C7. Check this out. So we've got 1 major 7 and then 5/7 of 4. Interesting, right? And then you go to resolving down the perfect fifth to 4 major 7. And you can add a little embellishment after that to make a modal interchange from 4 major 7 to 4 minor 7. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, don't worry about modal interchange for now, okay? We're just still focusing on secondary dominance, okay? If you don't know what modal interchange is for now, we'll cover it some other time. Okay, so we got this, 1 major 7, right? To 5/7 of 4, and then to 4 major 7. Okay, now after 5704, let's go to 5705. Okay? Alright, so 5 in this case, in the key of C, is G7, so we have to find the 5/7 of G7. The 5/7 of G should be D. Make it a dominant 7 chord, so we have D7. Okay? Alright, so we have 1. Let's go to 5705 now. Okay? Which in this case would be D7. There you go. That's 5705, resolving down to 5/7. That sounded nice. Okay, let's hear it again. 1 and 5705. Resolving down to 5/7 and then back to 1. Okay, that was 5705. Moving on, what's after 5? You got 6, right? Okay, after 5705, then let's go to 5706. Okay, 6 minor 7 in the key of C would be A minor 7. Okay? Alright, now so the 5/7 of 6 or the 5/7 of A minor 7 would be E7. Okay, so we're going from a 1 to 1 or C major 7 to 5/7 of 6 or E7 in this case, and then to 6 minor 7 or A minor 7. Here we go. Okay, did you hear that? Let's hear it again. So we have 1, major 7, going to 5/7 of 6, and resolving down to perfect fifth to 6 minor 7. Pretty cool. So that was 5/7 of 6. Okay, so let me recap this. So we have, as far as secondary dominants go, we just talk about 5/7 of 2, and we talk about 5/7 of 3, right? 5/7 of 2 resolves down to 2 minor 7. 5/7 of 3 resolves down to 3 minor 7, and then 5/7 of 4 it resolves down to 4 major 7, and then we have 5/7 of 5 resolves down to 5/7, and then we have 5/7 of 6 resolves down a perfect fifth as well to 6 minor 7. So all those chords, all those 5/7 of something that I just mentioned, they're all called secondary dominants. Alright, some of you might wonder, I've mentioned from 5/7 of 2 and 5/7 of 3, 5/7 of 4, 5/7 of 5, and 5/7 of 6, but I haven't mentioned 5/7 of 7. Please bear in mind, in this case, we don't have, at least for this topic, we don't have 5/7 of 7 as of now. Okay, I can explain and elaborate more some other time, but we don't have, generally speaking, on a traditional contemporary harmony, we don't have 5/7 of 7. Because 7 itself is, for example, in the key of C, 7 is B, right? And the 5/7 of B would be F sharp, okay? One of the criteria of secondary dominance, right? The root of that secondary dominance, it has to be diatonic to the key, okay? For example, in the key of C major 7, if you try to superimpose 5/7 of 7, you have F sharp, right? The 5/7 of B7. You have F sharp. F sharp is not diatonic to the key of C. Therefore, it does not qualify as a secondary dominant. It can qualify as another dominant chord, but not as secondary dominant. Okay? Alright, so to conclude this, let me just play it, okay? Let me just apply all those secondary dominant chords, alright, in a sample chord progression, okay? Alright, let's finish this lesson for today. Here we go.